Hi everyone, I can see you all joining. Exciting times. Right, where's Miss Kimberley? How do I even add her? She's texting me, I'm live, Kim. Let's see. Technical difficulties. Kimberley can't join. Bear with us. Yeah, I can see that you're saying you can't see Kimberley, and neither can I. Oh, there she is. Can you see me now, Kim? Are you on?
Hey, we did it.
We did.
Slightly worried.
Oh,
Slightly
that's a
worried about us for a
panic.
second there.
Well done. I can't believe we made it. We did it. Insta live.
Yeah, we did it. Here we are. Hi, everyone.
Lots of people joining. How are you? How's your day, Kim?
Yeah, good, actually. I've been enjoying the sunshine. It's so nice.
It's hot, isn't it?
It's hot, hot, hot. I've been
Hot,
trying to
hot,
make the
hot.
most of it.
I've had a house full today with people moaning about the heat. I'm not doing that
Oh,
because
no, we can't moan
we
about it.
can't moan about it, guys. It's beautiful. It's
Yeah,
beautiful. It's like an early summer. Loving it.
yeah, no, me too. Very happy
So,
for the
should we get into
sunshine.
it?
How's this gonna roll? Are you gonna
How's
grill
it going?
me?
I'm just gonna like grill you and ask you like the hardest questions ever.
Okay. Maybe I should have done that pre-chat after all.
Yeah, we're just going like straight in, but you've got to remember we're not on our own, okay? So,
We're not on our own.
not on our
Yeah,
own like
we
now.
do have a
Okay.
good few years of friendship, so we need to just remember that, yeah, this is maybe not all for the gram.
Okay, well, shall we start with how we know each other and like tell
Yeah,
people a bit of background about how far back our friendship goes?
yeah, we should. So, for anyone who doesn't know, I know some of the fans probably do know, but me and Kelly, I was going to say starred, but that's a strong word to use when talking about this. Me and Kelly were in a BBC program. It was a kids program. Uh, how many years ago? What year was it? I don't even want to
Well, I
think
was
about
17. We were both 17,
17, 18. Yeah,
so that makes it,
a long
oh,
time ago.
like 99.
Yeah, probably like
99.
25 years ago or something like that. And we both starred in a show about a pop band, and it was all about like trying to teach kids the morals, good morals, but through a TV show about us being in a pop band. And surprise, surprise, I was like the organized, annoying one that tried to keep everyone in line all the time, which pretty much is my natural role anyway. And you were a bit of a diva, weren't you?
Which
Which is
I don't
very
think is
much
my
not your
natural role.
character.
I
Yeah.
don't think it is, but you can correct me if I'm wrong.
No,
I can be,
it's not.
act like a diva, but I'm not really a diva.
Yeah, you did.
Don't think.
No, you did a good acting job, but it's not really your natural character. But no, that was quite an intense few weeks of filming, wasn't it? We had to stay in a house in Scotland together. So we got to know each other pretty well through that, didn't we?
Yeah. And then after that, we were sort of like both on the audition circuit doing auditioning for jobs like that, where we say we kept in touch.
Yeah.
And
I had to beg for a place to stay when I came down for auditions because you were at Talia Conti by this point, so you were in London. I was traveling back and forth a lot. I remember staying at yours and you were rehearsing for an audition, singing some Diana Ross or something. Like it was just, yeah, back in the day of like just auditions all the time. Um,
and
yeah, so we
then
kept in touch through that.
yes, and then for me, Pop Stars was an audition that kind of like came up during that time.
Hmm.
And I remember actually calling you after I'd done that audition and to tell you about it.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to you, "Oh my God, I wish you'd gone to it. I didn't get in the band, but I wish you'd gone to it. You definitely would have got in the band."
No, I do remember you being like, "Why didn't you go for it? Could have been perfect for us."
Yeah,
Um, which is probably what pushed me to go for the second Pop Stars, because I was like, okay, maybe this is a good route to go. Although I found the whole totally terrifying
the
stars.
whole experience. So yeah, because I'm not sure that I helped you by recounting my experiences to you.
Yeah,
It was terrifying, and then you had the extra added element that it was
yeah, live
live, sorry, because
shows.
yeah, because when I did it, it was pre-recorded, so there were no
Yeah,
public votes or anything like that. And then when you went ahead and did it, by then we'd had Pop Idol, hadn't we, the year
yeah,
before, and then it was Pop Stars, the
yeah,
rivals,
yeah.
and you had that whole public vote and all the pressure and becoming famous during it being on TV and all that. So it was amazing for me to watch you do it, actually, like being a friend from before and having been through the experience myself. But I think it was ramped, that whole experience was ramped up for you.
Yeah, and I don't think I would have actually gone for it if I'd have known that that was how it was going to go. I think that we were all under the illusion that it was going to be pre-recorded, the same as the first series. But then by then you're sort of in too deep, so you're like, oh, can't really bow out now. But I don't know if I would have actually signed up for that. But
What would have
here we go. The
put
rest
you
is
off? What
history.
would have put you off the live element was just the pressure.
Just the pressure. Yeah, I just feel like it felt like you're singing up there like a solo artist. And I was going for it because I wanted to be in a band. I
Yeah,
actually wanted that, the support of other people. And that was appealing to me. So then suddenly it's like, oh, if I wanted to be a solo artist and sing live on TV on my own, I would have gone for Pop Idol
yeah,
or, you know, X Factor.
yeah.
But it pushes you out of your comfort zone and you have to like sink or swim. So it can never really get any worse, to be honest, after that.
So, so do you have like fond memories of it, like good memories of that whole Pop Stars experience, or mixed?
Yeah, mixed, I think. There was definitely like a real fun excitement of being in the house with all the girls and like the possibilities of what might come of it, loads of excitement. And I enjoyed that element of it. I enjoyed the rehearsals and all that stuff. Did find the live shows really stressful, and I
Yeah,
just felt like I turned into a different person because the pressure was just too much. And I thought, oh, I've never really had this before. Like every time I've sung before, it's always been because people wanted to hear it and they were like, yeah, you're great. And it was just all fun and quite light-hearted. And then all of a sudden you're getting judged and it's like, oh, it's not really what it's all about. Like it's supposed to be fun.
yeah.
But this business is like that, so it is actually quite good to have that grounding. But no, I do look back on it fondly, but I was very relieved to get to the end of the show.
Have you watched it back since
I've watched
since
like
when?
little snippets. I mean, I
Not the
just
whole
feel
thing.
like I look like a
too,
baby.
too
No,
traumatic.
yeah, too traumatic. Um, Little bits and pieces you see here and there, and you can remember exactly how you felt.
Mm,
It's so weird. And it's funny seeing all your family like going through it with you. And yeah, I've seen some like old videos recently that some people have been posting, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like a different person.
yeah.
But it's just I'm so young, like it's a long time ago.
I mean, it's a lifetime ago, isn't it? But what's
Mm,
amazing is, I mean, you girls formed on the show and full
it
circle,
worked
like,
out. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it seriously worked out.
Yeah. Seriously worked
It
out for
worked
us.
out. That's an
No,
understatement to
but
say it worked out.
no, well, I guess what you're saying is you're formed by the public. There's not really any way of knowing if you're going to gel as, five people. And even we didn't know that at all at that stage.
Yeah.
But I do think for us, it just worked. It just clicked. So we were really lucky.
Do you think, because my experience was obviously of the TV show and the format, how we did it was obviously we lost
Yeah.
and we went on and did sort of like decided to form our band, and that's what you've touched on there in terms of the
Yeah.
dynamic of the members
Mm.
of the group. We kind of like chose each
We
other.
chose
Do,
each other. Yeah.
yeah. Do you? I'm interested in like your experience of winning and kind of like what happened next and
Mm,
how it felt to win, and,
yeah.
and how you guys coped like together, like how the new dynamic of the new friendships. How was that
Hmm.
after winning the show?
Well, first of all, the feeling of winning, I feel like that's really the only time I've ever had that feeling. Like up to then, I felt like I'd done so many auditions where I got down to the last two or three and I didn't get it. Like I was not winning for so long that I was almost so shocked that I actually got in the band. Because you're right, that you actually win. Like you did what you set out to do and you won the show.
Can I
It
just
was a
interrupt you for a
really,
second? Because I remember you winning. I was watching it on
yeah.
TV, and I was like, "Oh my god!" It was like
Yeah.
the thing is,
It
oh
was
my god,
it was a
for everyone who
lot.
knew you, oh
Yeah,
my god, it was a lot.
it was a
Yeah,
lot. And my reaction was just to like start bawling my eyes out because I think it was just so much pressure that it was more just like, oh my God, it's actually done. Like, and I actually am in. But it wasn't like, yeah, it was more like, oh, thank God, it's
relief.
I finally got through it and I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then you're like looking at each other like, okay, this is it. This is us.
Mm. And
I
what did you
think what
think?
was
What did you
really
think of them, the
I
others at that
I
time?
did actually I did have connections with all of them already. So I was lucky actually because I felt like I had quite good bonds with everybody at that point. But we were all completely different characters. That was really clear to see. So
Yeah,
it was just a bit like, okay, how's this going to work? I think because you're in it together and the five of you are in this random situation together, you just do what you need to do to help each other get through. There's definitely like a sort of rallying mentality, like, okay, well, like, let's just do it together. And that's what
yeah.
we do.
And so off you went,
Yeah.
and smashed it with Sound of the Underground.
Mm.
Um, and then sort of continue to smash it from there on in. So I'm kind of, I wanted to ask you what the average day in Girls Aloud kind of looked like back then
Mm.
when you were going through, when you were, you obviously became an
Yeah.
instant success
Yeah. The early
um,
days.
in the early days. So what was like an average day in Girls Aloud like?
It was like carnage. No, it was waking up super early, which I was not used to because other than like the odd other jobs that I've done, nobody really chooses to get up at like 4:30, do they? But that was normal all of a sudden. So it's like, okay, great. Um, we had like full schedules planned every day. We had this Chrysler that we drove around with like campaign stuff on it, so everybody knew we were in there. And I just felt like we would turn up to somewhere and like McDonald's boxes and drinks and food and makeup would just fall out the car. It was like we were just living in this Chrysler for like, I don't know, weeks and weeks, getting to bed so late because our days usually started with like an early morning TV, then maybe a photo shoot, then another TV, and then probably ended with like a uni gig or something. Like we
Yeah,
were literally doing everything possible at that time. So it was very, very intense. So that was from the day we got in the band, like end of November, to basically Christmas. So
yeah.
we didn't stop. We didn't see anybody in between that time. And then when it got to like literally like Christmas Eve, they were like, okay, you can go home for Christmas, Christmas Day. You know, we were like, oh, okay. So we literally then drove home having had this very surreal few weeks and then like sat at home on Christmas Day watching ourselves on Top of the Pops doing the Christmas number one. I just remember thinking like this is a bit trippy, like what is
Yeah,
going on?
mind
I
blown.
need a minute to like get my head around this, but in a good way.
But then you kind of didn't really get a minute because it just went
No,
on and on from there, right?
no. Well, it was hard then though because then we had to find another song and they didn't have any. They didn't have any more. They hadn't thought
Past
past
it.
basically who the band was going to be and what the first single was going to be. So that was probably really, challenge. That was tough. But then that was like, okay, this is our first experience of recording and how difficult that is. Like, you don't just find great songs all the time, do you? Like, I mean,
No.
God, you know
Yeah.
that more than anyone. Like, it's
Yeah.
hard. So that was when the hard work sort of really started, and then you started to bond more. I think during that like recording process, you spend so much time with each other, don't you? You're like just kind of hanging around, going in, singing,
Hmm.
coming out, all of that. And then yeah, we got no good advice, and then that was enough to sort of keep us up there.
Yeah. And it just went on from strength to strength. So
Mm,
in terms of like, because obviously I think people, younger people, might be interested in the difference between then and now, because obviously you're talking about,
mm,
you touched on the promo trail and what it was like before Quality
yeah,
Start, the different TV shows, all the photo shoots you had to physically
yeah,
go to every, all the radio
so
stations, and for
many.
radio
Yeah,
tours that
yeah,
you had
yeah.
to physically go to Scotland and go to
And you
Wales and, you know,
like, oh, can we not just do it down the line? And they're like, no, you
no,
have to go. You
yeah.
know, like they
Because
want
you
to
really
meet
had to
you. And
do
you're
your
like,
bit, didn't you, to
yeah,
galvanise
it's
that
part of it.
support from the regional radios and things. So it just meant hours and hours in the car, hours and hours in hair and makeup, which sounds glamorous, but when you sort of like have gotten up at 4:30 every day
Yeah,
for 3 months and
yeah,
you just want to sleep while they're doing your
yeah. I mean,
makeup.
I did remember actually falling asleep into one of our makeup artist's hands. Like this literally caught my, my
Yeah.
face a few times. I'm like, oh, sorry, I'll lie back.
So like in terms,
It's quite
I think
intense. It
I
was
think
quite intense for us, but yeah, you're right. It's not nothing like that now. I
like
don't think.
it's crazy because I feel like as I'm watching younger artists coming up, they're doing so much self promotion, so much themselves.
Mm,
And I'm wondering how you feel it compares and
yeah.
um, which way you prefer it to be.
Yeah, I feel like I'm so grateful that we didn't have social media at that time. For me personally, I think it's a blessing that we didn't have that outside source of, information from people. I just don't think that we needed that. So I'm really grateful that we didn't have that, although I know that's the biggest tool people have now.
Yeah,
So it meant we had to work a lot harder, but there was something really freeing about actually not knowing what every single person thought about you and what you're doing, because it meant that you could just focus on what you believed in and just keep going with it. I think
yeah,
had we have had loads of other voices like, oh, this is not good, this is da-da-da, maybe it would have changed everything. We would have
mhm.
been different for it. Why are you wearing that? Why have you done your hair like that? Like, it's always part of our journey without anyone's input in a way. Um, but yeah, they probably work, maybe maybe don't work quite as hard physically, but then also having to self promote is not natural for everybody. I wouldn't have been good at
No,
it.
no, me
So I
neither.
do like take my hat off to all the young artists trying to break through, and just feel like it's amazing that they keep on it. They have to, like, they have to be on TikTok every day, they have to be on Insta every day. They have to bring content and bring themselves like every day. Like, we could hide in the van until we had to switch on for the interview or the shoot
Yeah,
or
because
the.
it's that I think it's that separation that we were allowed to have
Yeah,
that we cut there's that kind of I think makes us sort of lucky and maybe the sort of last generation of pop stars, if you like,
yeah,
that had that where we could you could just about manage to have a private life,
yeah,
and then you had your on camera life or public life or
yeah,
whatever you want to call it.
yeah, totally.
Yeah, and it's like you do have to be these days a new breed of pop star, don't you? Which I think, I mean, look at us here on Insta Live trying to
I
get with
know.
the program.
I mean, check us out. I think
Yeah,
it is so different now though, and we definitely were part of a really special time, because not only was all of that different, there were so many other pop acts, so it was
yeah,
fun. Now
it
it's
was fun.
like
It
it's just
was
not.
fun.
There
It
isn't so
went for lots
many.
of secret gossip, didn't it?
Yeah, and we all
Like
knew
people sort of doing,
each other. We all went out together. Like, oh, we're going to go on that show, and there'll be like five other bands on the show. So then we'll go out after. Like, it was like we were able to create our social lives through the work a little bit as well.
yeah,
I think it's quite lonely to be an artist now. I think it's
yes,
quite
a lot of people.
isolated.
agreed. I think a lot of people, well, my husband is a songwriter,
Yeah.
and I think that's a major gripe for artists, the younger
Mm.
artists that he works with these days is, yeah, sort of feeling like lonely and feeling that they don't have anyone to share the experience with, which
Yeah.
is quite sad because it was fun
Yeah.
back then,
Really
wasn't
fun. And that is what's so amazing about being in a band. You've always got people to share it with, which is
it?
lovely.
So, what would you say your highlight? What did you like? The sort of best bits of being a pop star then? Was it like video shoots? Was it photo shoots? Was it TV performances?
Um,
Top three things
yeah.
to do.
Yeah. So my top three would definitely be touring would be first. Then I think actually recording because I really do enjoy that process.
Yeah,
I like just getting in the zone and just, yeah, exploring that whole, you know, thing. And then thirdly, I would probably say video shoots because they are exciting. Photo shoots are not my favorite thing to do. Like, I don't, I don't love them. Like, they're fine, they're fun, but I think a video shoot's a bit more of a concept and a bit more like
yeah.
exciting that you're like you've got a plan. And I would always get like really involved in the edits of our videos and stuff. I think it's kind of like a little bit of a passion of mine that I did study that a little bit, like for my A levels, and
Ooh,
I feel like I really enjoyed like all the nitty gritty of editing. So yeah, video shoots probably thirdly.
I feel like I just learned something about you there. I didn't
Yeah,
know. Hmm.
yeah. If you need any videos editing, just let me know. You know.
You're going to regret you said that, love.
Yeah, true.
All right, so then I also would like top three pinch me moments because obviously you girls achieved all of it. So
Mm.
top three pinch me moments. I know that's hard.
Um. Yeah. No, I think the Brit, which is probably one of the same for you, right? One of your top
Defo.
three is always going to be that, isn't it? Because you grow up. It's the things that you grow up watching that you think, oh, am I ever going to, am I ever going to be up there getting one of those? And like suddenly
Yeah,
you actually do. Probably being on top of the pops was a pinch me moment, even though I know it came early. Like we're 80s kids, so that was like the holy grail, wasn't it? Like you would sit
I
down
miss it.
and watch
I miss
it
top of the
and,
pop.
it'd be exciting. And it was like, yeah, as an institution, it was just huge for us. And so that was definitely up there. And then probably touring, but maybe like the first time that we did the O2, and it's so big. It's so big, isn't it?
Yeah.
And like when when you kind of see that all those people are there to actually watch your show, it's quite overwhelming.
Did you feel better on a big stage than a small one?
Yeah, I
Or
think
yeah,
for that type of thing, like I love theatre. I know you love theatre as well. It's a different beast, isn't it? But
yeah,
because with theatre, you're not yourself, so I don't mind it being more intimate because I'm not
yeah.
playing myself,
Makes
am
sense.
I? So it's like I can just get in the character and not think about it too much. When you're being you, I think it's easier for it to be a big crowd. You can't really pinpoint anybody specifically. I mean, you can a bit now, like a lot of our fans are so amazing. I actually know most of them by face and name. So on the last tour, I was like, "Hi, how are you?" Great, having conversations with people 20 years later. But generally, it's easier, isn't it? Big crowds are
I
easier.
always felt that. I always felt when I came out onto an arena stage, and this is maybe the why they cast me as a diva back in the
Yeah,
in our TV show, is because whenever we came out onto an arena stage, I was like, yeah, this is what it's meant. I'm meant to
yeah.
do. Like I
It
found
works
performing.
for pop music and for the type of bands that we both were, like, are,
Yeah,
where you're doing like a full performance, pop music, like that's where it belongs.
yeah. It's when you sort of get on those in those small spaces, intimate gigs, I find just so
Mhm.
much more nerve wracking where you can see every expression on every face.
Yeah,
Those
no,
are the ones
totally
that
get that.
then the nerves come and then it's like,
Yeah,
like
you've got to be ready.
auditions,
Yeah,
nightmare
auditions are
audition.
the
I'm
worst. This,
awful, just like in a room, cold, walking in,
yeah,
keep people at a
Never
desk.
ever, never got the best out of me in an audition. Never ever. So it was
Same.
always really, I only got the chance if people saw that in me and realized, oh, she's not an audition person. And they'd be like, do you know what? Just come in for a chat or a sing through. And then I'd be like, okay, I can do that, I think. If you don't say the word audition, I
Yes,
might be all right.
totally. I'm with you there. I'm with you there. So, back to Girls Aloud. I want
Hmm.
to ask you about the dynamics. You've touched on the girls in the group and you had a good relationship with
Yeah.
everyone. But I want to ask you about the dynamics of being in a girl band because obviously I was in a mixed band.
Yeah.
And you and I have talked about this before a little bit that we always felt as the girls in our group that the boys brought a little bit of balance when needed.
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine that would be the case.
And so I know, I think often people feel like they know you guys, but I'm interested in your take on the dynamics of being in a girl band and how that worked and how you managed to all survive.
I know. I feel like the public did pick well because although we were all so different, we just found a way of like fitting together like a bit of a jigsaw puzzle.
Mhm.
Because
Do you think the fact that you
not
were
not
so
two
different?
not two of us are remotely similar characters,
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
Not
So you
really.
think
We've grown to
the,
be more similar over the years because you grow together, I think. But in the early days, all completely different. The only thing that we all had in common was we were all from very similar walks of life in different northern towns, and we're all, have found ourselves in this situation. I was from day one, I think, the mother hen. I
mm,
was one of the oldest, obviously, and well, you know what I'm like. I just am quite a chilled person, so I think you need that person in the group. You need, a couple of people that are going to be a little bit more chill.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, the dynamics. What was it? Was we're girly girls, but we're not like girly girls. Does that make sense? Like how some like I feel like some people are all about like the hair, the makeup, the clothes. Da, da, da. We loved it all, but I don't feel like we were like really that into it, if that makes sense. And I think that
yeah,
probably helped as well because there was not really any like competition. It was like, okay,
mm,
that's my look, that's your look, you look fab. We were girls, all of us. It's like always wanting each person to look their best.
yeah.
I can't imagine what it would have been like with like a man's opinion in the mix because we are always like, no, don't wear that. Like you'll look so much better in that, or you
Oh
need to
no,
take that up or take that in or whatever.
the boys
And the
never
men might have
gave their
confused that
opinion.
whole thing.
Yeah, no, the boys they never gave their opinions about what we want. They didn't dare do that.
Dangerous game, yeah,
Yeah, they would just kind of rock up later, a
yeah.
lot later, like after
But was
we'd
there not a
been
bit of
cracking on.
resentment there? I think I'd feel so resentful if I was in a
Do
group
you
with
know what?
two people that didn't have to go through that whole thing that we have to go through every time you
Well,
leave the house.
do you know what though, Kim? It's interesting because it can't. I think that kind of works both ways in some ways because I think there was a lot more faff around the girls. A lot
Yeah,
more uh, fuss in terms of what we would wear and how we would look and all of that kind of stuff. But then equally, I think sometimes the boys missed that
yeah.
fuss. Because it
Yeah,
created,
didn't feel
like look,
as
yeah, they didn't feel as
not
noticed.
as special. That's not the right word, but they're not getting quite the level of attention that you guys are they?
Correct, because I mean, once you put three girls in rubber cat suits,
No one's really looking at them too, are
yeah.
they? Let's be honest.
So I
They
think,
know that. They're
yeah,
like,
yeah. So I think sometimes they enjoy the lack of fuss because you know what it's like. The fame game's complicated. And sometimes
yeah,
you don't want the fuss, and it's brilliant to just rock up at the
yeah,
last minute and sing your song and then go.
yeah. No,
But
of
other
course.
times you kind of like want a bit of
You
that
want a bit of it.
attention. So,
No, I get that. I get that. But I do think that you guys had a really good
yeah,
dynamic. It worked,
yeah,
didn't
we did
it?
same
Your band
sort
was
of thing.
chill. Yeah,
Very chill on the whole, and yeah, and it's lovely to see. I think it's lovely because obviously I think we both know of bands that don't get or haven't gotten on so
yeah,
well and have had
yeah.
that element of competition within the band.
Yeah,
And
no, totally.
I
And
couldn't have
it's
handled
like
that.
it's testament to both of us and our groups in a way that we're all still friends. Like you still see them socially, I still see the girls socially out of choice. And that's like 10, years since we were obviously together when we first sort of finished. And I know that you've always been really close with all of yours.
Yeah,
So we're just some of the lucky ones, I think. It
yeah,
doesn't always work
definitely.
out like that.
So you've talked a bit about having that support from the
Hmm.
other girls and needing that, wanting to be in a band because you felt like you needed that.
Hmm.
So I'm curious, is that the reason that you didn't go solo after leaving the
Oh,
band?
yeah. I I think that I always saw myself in a band, and then my other like major passion was always theatre. So I
Hmm.
think when they were like, "Oh, let's take a hiatus, a break, whatever you want to call it these days," I don't know. Um, the going solo like with pop music never really came into my head. I was like, oh, maybe this is my chance to like try and do some theatre. So I think I went round about it sort of the opposite way most people do. Like some people go into theatre and then try to, become an artist, and I
Yeah,
did it the other way around.
yeah.
Um, and
And you,
also, I think I was really realistic about like the pressures of that and how hard it would be. Like, I didn't have a clear idea of what my sound was going to be. So then it's like a whole thing to like start from scratch, discover what your sound should be. By the time you've done that, you've missed the boat, to be honest. So I think it was sensible, a sensible choice, maybe.
yeah, and you've got a lot of strings to your bow. You've done loads of different things since
Mm,
theatre's just one of them. You've done bits of presenting and all sorts.
yeah.
Um,
Well, I'm like you. When you go to like stage school and theatre schools, you do everything. So you do have those things to draw on, and it's quite useful. And actually, like theatre was like a really big challenge, so it felt really exciting because I hadn't done it before.
yeah,
I'd been doing that for like over 10 years, so it felt really exciting. And the same like with presenting in like I only really started that prop like fully in my 40s, and I was like, oh, this is like a new challenge. Like each decade, I think I've moved to new challenge, and then it gets you like excited and you feel
yeah.
that like nervous energy again, and it's actually quite a good thing.
So is that what you think you're striving for now? Things to stick your teeth into, or is it? Do you think have you achieved everything you want to achieve? Is there anything outstanding that you haven't done yet?
Yeah, I feel like I'm really, really grateful for everything I've been able to do. And now it's a bit of a boring answer, but I do feel like being a mum of three, it's kind of like,
A
okay,
lot.
what can I actually do
Yeah,
work-wise that means that my family is still happy and everything's still ticking over? Um, and so I'm realistic, yeah. But actually, I feel really like settled in that I've done loads of stuff that I wanted to do. So in my head, I'm like really happy with like the presenting journey that I'm going on now because I feel like that fits in and around the kids quite well, and I really enjoy it. And then I think in the future, I would love to do more theatre when they're a bit older and they don't mind me leaving them every night. Maybe I'll be back on that stage.
yeah.
Maybe
How
we
was
should do
it?
something together, I think, in our
Oh, wait,
50s.
look out!
Look out, guys. We're coming. That would be fun.
That would
I
be
would
fun.
love that.
That would be great. I we've got to talk about the tour because it was
Yes.
phenomenal. It was fabulous.
Hmm.
I know, obviously, it was the four of you, not the five of you,
Yeah,
and that was sad.
it
And
was.
but I thought it was so beautifully handled, um, and like such a beautiful tribute to Sarah. And I know how much you struggled with the loss of Sarah, and I
Yeah,
know how much you struggled with going back on tour after having
yeah,
lost her and how to deal with it. And we talked a lot, didn't we, about
yeah,
how whether or not you were going to handle it right and who was going to make the decisions about that. And I just
yeah.
thought, like, coming to watch it just as a punter, I just felt like it was just a beautiful tribute to her, and you guys handled it so
Yeah.
with so much class.
I feel like we did give so much care to all of those decisions, and we made them like as a group and with our extended like family of people that also knew her really well, like Beth, our choreographer and creative director. She, you know, she was with us for our whole career. Obviously our mum was involved in all of it, and so it felt like we were just, the more and more we got into it, the more and more we felt like actually we're just bringing her more and more into this, which makes us feel better. It
Yeah,
helps everything. The
yeah,
production rehearsals were horrendous because obviously there was parts of the show that were very hard for us to watch at that stage, but we had to go through that, and then once we did, then we could sort of appreciate and feel it on a different level when we were actually touring. There were certain nights where it still takes you, you never really know when that's going to happen. But on the whole, it just felt like everybody was so glad, including us, to have those moments to like celebrate her because we just didn't get enough time to do that, you
yeah,
know, before we lost her. So it felt like, okay, there's some real comfort in this. And
yeah.
it was quite healing for us all, I think, and it really did feel like she was there.
Oh,
And it
oh,
gave
that's
comfort
so.
to, you know, all people that knew her as well. I think they liked to see everybody, you know, listening to our voice again and just having the chance to show, you know, how much she meant to everyone.
Yeah, I mean, even I knew Sarah a
Yeah,
little bit, and one of my best friends was really good
yeah,
friends with Sarah as well,
of course.
and I came,
Sarah.
yeah, and I came with her to the concert, and like you know, in our like group, everybody was having their own reminiscing and having talking
Yeah,
about their own memories during the tributes to her, and going, oh, remember that time when, oh my God, and it was beautiful. It was so
yeah.
beautiful, really
And
nice.
that's so true. It's like, it's nice and it's comforting because people are talking about her again. And yeah,
But I think
that is.
so. Do you girls feel that is there an extra want to keep Girls Aloud alive for Sarah, or
Um,
is it something that you feel like she would have wanted to continue with, or is there any thought
I
process there?
don't know actually. I feel like when we're together, it feels like she's more with us. So that's really lovely for us, for sure. Um, we'll get some signs from her. I think the girls. Some of the girls are very like aware of signs and things that they feel um, from her. So I reckon we'll get a sign at some point if
That's
she
nice.
wants us to do more. I don't know.
That's nice. But I suppose then what you're saying as well is that if you feel that she's with you when you're together, that's more incentive for you to get together more often.
Yeah, it's not nice. Like whether that's on stage or just when we're together,
Yeah,
it still feels really nice that she's definitely with like part of that group. So I know she's not there, but she's still always there for us. Like even in rehearsals, it was very apparent that she wasn't there, but there were times where you felt that she was, if that makes sense.
it does.
Like
It totally
you could
makes sense.
imagine what she would say at that point, or you could hear her voice on certain bits, and you'd be like, "Oh my God, do you remember that ad lib that she used to do over that line every night?" Da, da, da. You know, like all of those things, just as you were
Yeah,
saying, bring back those memories. But yeah, who knows what, you know, what the future holds, but it was a pretty special experience to have. And although I never ever thought that that would be something that we would do, it actually was, it was really lovely when it happened.
that's nice. Well, I know that like I can literally see all the comments coming
Mm,
through, people hoping that
mm.
she would tour again, and people all the tributes to Sarah. It's so lovely,
Yeah.
so lovely.
Who knows? Like genuinely, like they're all asking. I don't know the answer, guys. None of us do. Is the truth of it. We've always been quite just go with the flow and see what happens. See where the
Yeah,
wind takes us.
and we're getting on a bit now, aren't we, Kimber?
We are. I don't know if my
So
hips could handle another one, but I could give it a try.
yeah, well, what do you think about like? Is there a age where you feel like we should just stop pop starring?
um,
Should we throw in
no,
the towel,
I'm gonna
or
say
like
no. I'm gonna
really?
say no, just because I never thought I would do this. So if I'm like, definitely not when you're 50 and then I'm up there at 55, then, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just keep it open. And also, like, you just evolved, don't you? It's not the same. You're not going to be the same pop star that you were when you were 25. But actually, I think people like to grow up together, don't they? Like, I feel like I felt on the tour, so many people had watched us from, being so young, and then we're watching as adults. And it's just a nice, like, experience to go through that with people. So I can see why some acts are still touring, well
Yeah,
into their 50s, 60s, because they've got that, like, bond with their audience.
absolutely. And each other.
But
Hard to let it go.
equally, on that note, maybe we should make a pact that we tell each other when it's like time. Come on now, hang up the
Stop it
canes,
now. Like if I come,
put the
yeah, if
rubber
I come
cat
to your
suit
show and you
away.
come, if you're limping on or coming on with a Zimmer frame, I'm going to be like, no,
Should we be
stop it.
like that? Should we be each other's honesty person? Like,
Okay,
keep it
I
real.
make, I'll make that pledge right now. I'm
Yeah,
comfortable with that.
it's
Cool.
gonna have to be done.
All right. And last thing, because I
Uh-huh.
think we're going to run out of time soon.
Yeah.
Um, just obviously people want to know about your, well, we know your family, we see them out there. And
Yeah.
I obviously know your family really well. So I think you get the work-life balance just right. Uh,
Mm.
but I think people might like an insight into how you do that and yeah, how you manage to get that work-life balance right. Because it's hard. You've got three kids
Yeah.
and one very young child.
Yeah.
So how do you manage it?
Um, I have a very good husband who you know very well.
Round of applause for
And
Justin.
he's an amazing dad, and I'm very, very lucky to have him, and that we both kind of see the same goals and just want best for our kids and, for the family. I'm not going to say that it's always easy, because it's not for him or for me. I'm sure the juggle is real,
Yeah,
but we we both love being around our kids as well. And so for me, I'm never really going to take anything that takes me away from them too much. The tour was like a massive thing for me to do, because I was like, I've never been away from them for long periods like that, in consecutive weeks like that. But
yeah.
actually, they survived. They
They
all
did survive.
survived.
And I think the
They
tour blew
actually
their
had
minds,
fun, I
didn't it?
think. You are?
I said I think the tour blew their minds, like
Yeah.
seeing you out there and really, I mean, I don't want to put words into
Yeah.
your mouth or theirs, but I could see that. I feel like in their eyes, they were like, my mom's like a big deal.
Yeah, no, because when I first told Cole I was doing it, he was like, no, no, Mom, no, no way, you can't do that. And I could tell he genuinely thought, like, he only really sees me how
Yeah,
I
no,
look on the
you
school run and
actually
at home.
can't
He
do
was
that.
like, don't think you should do this, like, genuinely worried. I was like, okay, chill out. And then yeah, when they came, and obviously they're so young, they've never even been to a tour, they've never
Yeah,
been to watch anybody.
yeah,
So the scale of it all definitely blew their minds a little bit. And it was a really good life experience for them as well. They did come on quite a lot of the tour.
yeah,
And it opened their eyes, which I love.
yeah,
They just got to see what was my life for such a long period of time. They got to see what that was, so they get it now. And if I can chat to them and stuff, and they actually understand what it's all about a little bit.
yeah. It's nice for them to see what like everyone else sees because you are such a good mum, and I'm around you all the time, at home with the kids, and you literally are like Martha Stewart. you were literally, you literally fully like, oh, I haven't got a cake, I'll just bake one.
No, no,
And
that's
yes,
false
you are.
advertising.
You are
No.
good. You are
Um,
good around the house, very domesticated. Just like it's warm at Kimberley's. Always warm. There's always something to
Yeah,
eat.
I like a homely home. And yeah, I mean, I have the same parenting challenges that everybody has. Do not get it twisted, guys. But I am very hands-on mom. I don't have any help. It's, we do just do it between us, and we wing it, and it seems to work.
Yeah,
And the boys seem happy, and they get it most of the time. They get why I'm going away if I have to go away and all of that stuff. And yeah,
Yeah.
it seems to be working.
And we didn't mention, did we, the sort of double connection that we have? Because
Oh
I
yeah,
was just saying how
which
much
is quite
I
a big
know and love
part
Justin.
actually. Yeah,
Yeah, I know and love Justin, but our husbands also grew up together, didn't they?
they
And we're in
literally grew
band.
up together,
They grew up
same
together
town,
from Bristol,
besties, and
formed a
then
band,
we're in a band together.
the
It's like
most underrated boy band of all time.
obviously.
Of
Um, but you know they both are really talented, and it's funny, like you never know how that, you know, how that business is going to go. Like, I mean, Ian's doing amazingly well and writing and singing, so I'm glad that he's, you know, still getting it out there. But you know what Justin was like, he was always the shy and retiring one. They realized he could sing and dance and were like, come on, get in the group. But he's
yeah,
not extrovert person,
well,
so I think he's quite happy to be like, okay, I'll sit back again.
not extrovert until
But
the right
yeah,
tune comes on the dance floor.
yeah, no,
Then
and
he's like,
then
clear
it's
the
different
dance floor.
story. Yeah, that's true. But no, like they're really good friends, and then it's just crazy that we obviously were all still friends and whatever. But then when you got with Ian, I was like, oh my god! So we would have met each other basically one way or another
Yeah,
in this lifetime. I believe we were meant to meet one way or
yeah,
another. It would have happened. There's
yeah.
like three ways we've met at this point, so
I know you're
you
not
were
getting
never
away
getting
from
away
it.
from me.
We just said the same thing.
We are the same person.
Oh my gosh,
Parallel
I love.
lives.
Well, I think that's a good place to leave it,
Yeah.
isn't
It
it?
was lovely chatting to you. We should do it again
We
sometime.
we should we
Stock
just
up
do it in a minute?
on the rose and let me know when the
Will
next
do
heat wave comes.
for
I'm there.
sure. Right, one thing though, I don't even know how to end this chat.
No,
And you
and
want me
hang on
to save
because
it?
somebody said save it, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't even know how to
Oh my
do
God.
it. Help
Anyone
me.
want to tell us how to save it?
Are
Anyone
you
tell
supposed to?
us how to save it? Um,
I think. Are you supposed to end it and then save it? But I'm so scared that if I end it, it
can
won't.
we end it and then save it? Let's
Oh look,
wait for
I've
them
got
to tell
a friend
us.
texting me saying tap the X and then you save it. That
Ah,
sounds really
okay.
risky to
So
me.
that is risking closing it, but we'll have to go for it.
All right, then I'll do it. I
Okay.
love ya.
Bye. Love you.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.